Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I am Kevin Walker. I just want to lend you to lend me your ear for the next hour, 8 to 9, baby. We got 1 hour. I got six really good things that we're going to discuss tonight. Of course, everybody will be jumping in here in a minute. Don't meet them here, beat them here. So yeah, we got six topics that we're going to be discussing on tonight. Other side of the wall. I'm going to discuss other side of the wall a little more in detail, a little more in depth to you, and exactly what that means by other side of the wall. We also have personal sexual desires. Personal sexual desires. We got I'm sorry as the topic. Set the table just the way it is. And aside from that, our final topic of the evening, we got lying ass bitch. Lying ass bitch. So we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have some fun discussing these topics. Personal sexual desires, lying ass bitch. That's just the way it is. Set the table, and I'm sorry. So we're going to start off tonight, start off our hour of power tonight with Other Side of the Wall. Other Side of the Wall is a topic that I pretty much came up with because I want to start another foundation like I had started and worked in for years to help young African-American, Black and brown kids, Hispanic as well, from underdeveloped areas, help them see their way out. A very strong mentor program is what I want to put together, is what I'm going to need your help along the way enhancing and getting the word out there about. But other side of the wall, I can tell you that sometimes when you're in a home, and if you had a parent like I had, let me get this off my screen. When you had a parent like I had, my mom was a very, very strong-willed person. She had been dealt a very raw hand in life, which, you know, when you're a kid, man, you don't really know everything about your parents' upbringing. You don't really know everything about your mom or dad went through and suffered from and had to suffer at the hands of. But what you do is over the course of your life, especially for me now being 54 years old, I've had to learn some things. And what I did learn is that normally people are a little more sensitive to topics that they've had a direct hand in dealing with or going through than anything else. And what I mean by that is a person who's been victimized in crime, a person who's been raped. Let's be quite frank here. A person that's been raped, they're going to be a little more sensitive about the subject, about the topic. And I mean, you can totally understand, because the one thing I can tell you is that PTSD is a real thing. Having PTSD is a real thing. And PTSD, let's just let the cat out the bag, man, is not just a myth for those people who have been away at war, because we relate PTSD to our soldiers. And it's not just something that our soldiers here in the States struggle with and suffer from when they come back home. PTSD can happen in a lot of ways. If you've ever been robbed or held at gunpoint for any particular reason, a lot of times when it comes back around or when it comes down, you have a propensity, once you have to go back out into the world, to keep an extra eye all the time when you're struggling or when you've been in a situation to where you face something that's very, very traumatic. So PTSD is a real thing. Other side of the wall. So the concept behind the topic, other side of the wall, was me, Kevin Walker, personally myself, and I'm trying to be transparent and help somebody at the same time. Other side of the wall is about the young man lying in bed, listening to his parents argue in the other room. Now, you might not think that mean a whole lot, or you might not really understand. What's up, Big Ben? You might not really understand how that could affect somebody long term, or how they are forced to live within that pain. But a lot of times, as African Americans, we don't seek counseling for issues. We shun it. We sweep it under the rug. We blow it off. Brownstone Psychiatric is my girl, Kendra Smith place. If you are struggling, if anybody is struggling with something and you can't get it off your back, you can't shake it, and you feel like you need to talk to someone who can help you deal with your tragedies, see my girl, Kendra Smith, over at Brownstone Psychiatry, and I promise you won't leave there disappointed. She won't allow you to leave her clinic disappointed. She's an African-American sister that's running this clinic, and she does a tremendous job with her counseling sessions over there at Brownstone Psychiatric. That's Brownstone Psychiatric. You can Google it, look it up. Miss Kendra Smith is the boss lady over there. But let's continue on with off the wall, or other side of the wall. So a lot of time when you're laying in bed as a young man and you're hearing your mom, dad, or whomever in the next room over in a back and forth verbal battle, of course, dropping in some expletives and, and look, hey, I'll be honest. A lot of times I was in fear for my dad, not so much my mom, because my mama could put them hands on you. So I was in fear. I would hear him be like, stop it, don't like, go on with that. Because my mom always wanted to fight. My mom was a fighter. Ever since she was a kid, she was a fighter. Everyone who know her or tell you anything about her, that's how she was raised. That's who she was. So lying in bed as a young man, hearing those struggles in the other room, I think sometimes as parents, we take our kids being in home for granted and can hear what's going on. I hope that over the course of time that we've learned to take those conversations to the car. Even if you and your husband or you and your wife go sit out in the car, if you feel like it may get a little heated, go have that conversation in the car. Don't let your 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old baby lay in the other room and listen to all the back and forth, the negative connotations. Don't let them be affected by what they're hearing in the other room. Because remember this, your child, if it's from that man, or it may not be from that man, but your child that's laying in that other room listening to this confrontation loves both individuals. They loved everybody involved. So don't put your child in a situation to where they're lying there confused on who they need to help. Because again, it ain't always mama you're going to have to run in there and help, because I know some mamas that'll put them hands on daddy real quick. So I would say the other side of the wall can be long-term and can be very damaging. So I've heard so often people saying that a lot of time, the majority of our traumas that we suffer from, even today as adults, are stem from our childhood. If you've taken the opportunity to go sit down with a therapist, with someone who's doing or handling the psychiatry of a situation, they want to know from day one who we are, what we went through, what type of home we come from. Was it a two-parent home? And what's crazy, if you've ever filled out a college application, they want to know if you even have a backyard to play in. Let's see what Randy says right here before I go on. What about it being explained? For example, mommy and daddy will have disagreements, but it has nothing to do with you. Yeah, Randy, that's cool. That's cool. But at the same time, when you're in that other room as a kid, and I'm telling you from experience, and I mean, I was a smart kid. I could have been 10, 11, 12 years old. I was a very smart kid. I knew, or I felt like they weren't going to kill each other. But at the same time, when you're a child laying in the other room and you're listening to the verbal combat, your parents ain't going to always slow down enough to come explain that. Now, I'll say this, in the era in which we were raised, our parents weren't going to come explain shit to us. I mean, let's just be real about that. Our parents did not have sexual conversations with us, did not have conversations about sex as to protecting yourself, hey, the responsibility that came along with having sex, and knowing that, hey, if you get this little girl pregnant, there's a financial burden and obligation that's going to be on your back for 18 years. If you don't wear a condom, there are also the possibilities of you possibly dying from some form of a disease. So it's like our parents were different in nature. Now, do we do more communicating the situation to our kids today that our parents didn't do back then? We do, yes, but I think we've learned better, and I think we've understood the things in our past that haunted us, that hurt us, and we don't want that to haunt our kids for the rest of their life. What's up, Mark G? Mark said, what you're saying is so true. I'm dealing with that right now. Randy came back and said, right, I've been there too, Kevin. Heard way too much growing up. Yeah, and again, and man, look, I'm not talking in a situation where my dad was the initiator. It was my mom. If something didn't go her way, or if my mom didn't get her way, hey, Miss Madeline could raise some hell. Miss Madeline could raise, and I would never, honestly, I would think after every 20 to 25 words, my dad would probably get a slight word in, maybe 5 or 6 words at best. My mom was going to dominate any argument that took place in that other room. That's just who she was for some reason. We found out why that was her years later. But all I'm saying is today, as it relates to today and the way that we're raising our kids, we have to really be careful, because for whatever reasons, I don't want to blame the school system. I don't want to place blame anywhere on anyone. But what I do want to do is have adult conversation, and I'd like for everybody to kind of chime in and help me with this. Why is it that it seems as though the thing that I always worried about with my kids is their mental health? Because it seems like we're raising a society of kids who are mental midgets. Like, they just don't get it. They can't fight through. They can't push through. I've been fortunate enough, and I've been blessed that with my boys, academically, they've been above the curve, well above the curve. So from an academic standpoint, we know they're smart kids, a lot of them that we're dealing with. But we also know that sometimes smart people make some dumb decisions. It's some adults out here, some very smart adults that's making some dumb decisions. Why that is, I have no clue. But what I've worried about with my boys is their mental health, them hearing something going on in the other room and reacting to it in such a negative form or negative fashion that I wouldn't have ever imagined the thought of. You have so many kids today at an alarming rate, and it's not part of what I'm going to talk about tonight, so I won't get into the numbers. You can Google it for yourself. These kids are committing suicide like they walk into the sweet shop. Remember how we used to all get together and just go, 1 or 2 of us, 3 or 4 of us to the sweet shop? These kids are committing suicide like it's a walk in the park, and it's scary. And the last thing we ever want is to put our kids as parents in a situation where they're fighting with confusion. No parent ever wants to put their child in a situation to where they are confused about what to do, about what route to take. The one thing I think we all can agree on as parents is that we are the protectors of the mental. We are the protectors of the child. Let's see what Randy got to say. But I never want to paint the picture that disagreements don't happen and two people just may raise their voices, healthy arguing. See, yeah, I mean, I can agree, but I don't know when this is going on in the other room and your 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old is in there listening, that they can compute that this is a healthy argument. And me personally, I'm going to be honest, Randy, I don't think there's a such thing as a healthy argument. I think we can have healthy conversation, but to argue, the term argue, to banter back and forth as to oppose one another, like, I just don't know that what's healthy about that. I just don't know that we can have healthy argument. Healthy conversation, I'm with you. But healthy argument, I got to run from that. The long-term damage and living through the pain of being on the other side of that wall is so detrimental. Again, going back to some form of counseling and figuring out with a counselor, with a psychiatric evaluation, why you do or why you react in some ways nowadays that you react is about your childhood situations. Things that you've stored in your memory that for whatever reason, you can't shake them. I know I can remember very specifically arguments that took place in the home and what they were about as a kid. Very specifically. And that's maybe not something that I should even recall on that level, knowing what my parents were in the other room arguing about. So I would just say, because we are better communicators, instead of communicating with your child about what may be going on, how about taking that disagreement to the car? Hey, baby, let's step outside. Let's not do this with the kids in the other room. Let's be the adults in the house. Let's go sit in the car and let's talk about it. Hey, just in case voices do raise, let's be in a position or let's be in a place to where we can have healthy dialogue without scaring the kids if voices, get a little elevated. Because look, at the end of the day, as a child, the one thing we were told that a child needs to stay in a child's place. So we wasn't running in the room. What y'all talking about? What's going on? No, that's just not how it was. So look, I ain't gonna keep y'all too much longer on this subject. Let's move on, because I've got personal sexual desires, and I got lying ass bitch, and I got I'm sorry. The kids know more than we give them credit for. I would absolutely agree, Ron. So I'm going to go to personal sexual desires. Now, if you got kids that listening to this, hey, Felicia, if you've got kids that's listening to this, we're going to talk about sex in some ways that maybe kids don't need to hear, because I don't know what's going to come up. But when we discuss personal sexual desires, I believe the one thing that needs to happen with anybody's personal sexual desire is that there need to be respect first and foremost. And I think you need to appreciate people's privacy about their personal sexual desires. Look, we all grown. There is a full society of people who live the lifestyle. They live the lifestyle. That's what they call it, the lifestyle. And that's people who have wild sexual orgies and those type of things. I have friends that host those parties or have hosted those parties. Number one, that's their desire. That's what they want to do. It's not for me to tell them they can't do it. It's not for me to spread their business on who's doing it. You know, hey, if they want to host orgy parties or whatever they call them, lifestyle parties, hey, that's on them. I know back in college, being a college athlete on campus at a major university, you know, it wasn't nothing on a Friday night or a Saturday night after you leave somebody's party, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, go hit up your partners. It wasn't nothing to bust open the door and there's threesomes and foursomes going on. That was the norm for campus life. I know you said, are you a bit curious? Am I a bit curious about what? I know several individuals right now. I work with a few who enjoy that particular lifestyle. And that's their personal business. And I'm going to respect it. So I ain't calling names, putting nobody on blast. People's personal sexual desires can be weird in nature to one and can be the norm to somebody else. So I've had people who said to me, and I'd never heard this before, I'm being totally honest. I had a female tell me that her dude liked to spit in her mouth during sex. I freaking never heard that before in my life. Never had I heard that before. Now, with this being like the sexual liberation, now I've heard all the time on podcasts and everything else. I hear a lot of women saying they truly enjoy it. I hear women saying they enjoy men spitting in their mouth. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was like willing and down to do some crazy, freaky shit. But on some of these podcasts that people got going, it's some of the weirdest shit I hear on the podcast. Like weird, like, So, what are y'all talking about? Scorpios have the best fun. Okay, the lifestyle. So you saying, am I curious about the lifestyle? No, I mean, Randy, let me tell you something. I've played major college football and basically my whole life, like as a man, like I'm just talking as a grown ass man right now. It ain't nothing that I've desired that I hadn't had the opportunity to partake in if I desired it. Nothing. You can't name nothing that, from dealing with a dominatrix to, you can't name something that I haven't had the opportunity as a grown ass man, if I desired it, to take part in it. And I always say this, look, there ain't nothing that if I'm into a woman, if I'm really into you, there is nothing that a woman could ask me to do that I won't do. It don't exist. Now, the only thing I won't do is something, involving another male. I won't do that a woman could ask me to meet that I'm not willing to meet. I'm just saying. So anybody's personal sexual desire, number one, I'm going to respect it. Tell me you gay? Hey, that's your desire. That's what you want to be. I'm going to respect it. And anything you share with me from that perspective is going to stay with me. It's going to continue to maintain itself as privacy. So let's talk about lying ass bitch. Let's move on from personal sexual desires to you lying ass bitch. Ladies. Now I can't talk about this subject from your perspective. So y'all gonna have to chime in and help me out. The topic is lying ass bitch. A bitch can be a man or a bitch can be a woman, depending on who you talking to. Because the realistic side of it is that, yes, some of these niggas are, y'all know the song, Ice-T. If you don't, look it up. Google it. Some of these niggas are bitches too. Still lying. Why are we at 50 plus years old still lying? See, I remember being a very young man in my 20s and 30s and being around a bunch of the OGs and older cats just in the hood. And the one thing they always said was the older you get, the more you have the propensity just to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. A lot of times, people already know the answer before they even ask you the question. They just want to see, can I really trust you? And if I can't trust you with a Sharpie, surely I can't trust you with the intimate details of my life. Does that make it okay? Because when you know better, you do better. See, when we kids, we think as kids. So we're lying as a child to keep from getting our ass whooped. Because my mom was an ass whooper. So we would lie as kids to stay out of trouble. But why are we lying at 50 plus years old? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cheat. And I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to lie because, number one, I pay all my own bills. So I ain't got a lot to impress nobody. No one in my life contributes nothing to my lifestyle. And I'm cool with that. I'm thankful for that. I'm glad that I can live and move how I want to live and move without having to march to the beat of somebody else's drum. Because when people are supplying you with needs, there is a propensity from that person to want to be able to direct your steps. You can't direct my steps. Paying my own bills, don't owe nobody nothing. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Kim, you're right. So that's why I just don't get it. That's why I honestly just don't get it. As grown folk, why are we continuing to lie? I got to call it what it is, a lie. And you want to just look that person in the eye, him or her, and be like, you're a lying ass bitch. You know that? Why are you lying? Please explain to me why you lying. I had somebody, a female, I'm a female. No, she's not on here. I had a female tell me a story about 3 weeks ago, back the end of June. A tragic situation happened, so they had to recant some of the information, and the details change from it being a girl to a guy. And while she telling me the story, because I knew that was a tragic ending, I didn't want to say, well, motherfucker, at the time you told me the story, you said she. Now you saying he, because, like, why? So what that does for me is simply make me lose respect. Because one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, if I choose not to tell you something, that's not a lie. But when you ask me for something and I give you what you asking for, why are you mad? You asked me this. You asked me for the answer to this story. What's up, Nene? Let's see what Nene said. Most older single people, I'll say, I'm gonna guess you mean, most older single people are looking for someone like you describe. A good catch. Okay. You think Nene, you think I'm a good catch? You think I'm a good catch, Nene? Nicole Rogers said, hell, I'm not gonna lie for you. You're not gonna lie for me? What you mean? Why you ain't gonna lie for me? I don't need lying fuckers. I'm pretty straightforward. That's what get me in trouble. Kim Bourne say it's a character issue. Well, if you're all those things, I am honest, Nene. Now you, probably more than anybody else on here, have been dealing with me longer and on a daily basis with us dealing with these kids for years, longer than anybody else. Nicole says, I'm not gonna, Shoshana say, I agree, Kim. LaTanya Rice say, Ron Love, somebody said they second that, Ron. I didn't see what you said. Hold on, let me scroll you back down because I want to make sure I'm being fair reading comments. Oh, you didn't speak on the lying ass bitch part. So look, no, seriously though, as grown as human beings, why are we lying? Why are we not being just totally 100% honest with anybody in your life, with your kids, with your mate, with your co-workers? Randy says one thing about a liar, you never know when they telling the, well, that's part of the lying, Randy, not telling the truth. I can't trust you. I don't need you. Don't have time to decipher someone else's truth. No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, for me, this is my truth. This is my realistic approach to life. If I got to lie to you, if my peace is disturbed, if I got to lie, if my peace is disturbed, and if I got to avoid your ass like the plague, then I promise I don't need you. Callie, you know what? I'm going to stop being ghetto like them other jokers at your job that call you Callie. Kylie, I want to know liars think they are believed. You said you want to know if liars think they are believed. Clearly they do, because they looking you dead in your eye and lying. So they got to think you believe them. Kim Bourne says, can't even trust them. Why? Because they lie. To stop asking. Can't even trust they why? Yeah, because they liars. You stop asking. A lot of times, Kim, we really not asking. People will bring you a lie. People will bring you a lie before they bring you the truth. For some reason, at 50 plus years old. Like, what part of society's game is that? Like, just tell the truth and be done with it. And then, let me tell you something, y'all come on to amens now. Come on to amens. Come on to amens. People will lie to you and own you and then get mad at you for confronting them. People will lie to you and own you, and then when you be like, man, that's not what we talked about. I didn't say that to you. Oh, no, that ain't what I told her. Oh, yeah, well, let's call her. But then they never want to call a person that they see. Look, let me tell you how to end a lie quick as hell. Get that third party on the phone and get everybody together. Because for me, for Kevin, if I said it once, I damn sure can say it twice. See, I was most hated for that in Little League more than anything else, because anything I said to the kid, I could say to the parent. If I say it to the parent, if I say it to the mama, I can say it to the daddy. One thing I ain't gonna do at 54 is bite my tongue. People think they are impressing you when you really don't care. You know what? This is what Elisa, my homie, tell me all the time. And I want to get a proper credit, but I can't remember who she said told her. People lie and spend their last to impress people that they don't even like. Y'all didn't hear me. People lie and spend their last on some boots, on a purse, on a suit. They'll spend their last to impress somebody who they don't even like. I didn't say who don't like them, who they don't like. Why do you care enough I'm confused? But she said that's what a liar will do. They'll change the scenario. Whew, okay, let me read this. Trishana says, people think they are impressing you when you really don't care. That's true. Nikki Rogers said, you better motherfucking speak. Kim Bourne said, hey, sis, the realist right here. Just ask Trishana if you want the truth. You say Trishana will tell you the truth? Starting with Facebook. Yeah. I've heard this as well. Yeah. Yeah. So Callie said, the Bible says a liar won't tell. Yeah. In his sight. You're right. So that was my moment for lying ass bitch. Because look, I got tired. I got so tired when I had my youth organization. Because one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to protect my name. And for some strange reason, when you're dealing with black folks, they love to drop a name, but they dropping a name with a lie. So I wasn't going to just let you use my name for pull, for clout, for clicks, whatever you were trying to do. No, we were going to freaking get to the bottom of what the truth was. And so many times, so many parents will come back and say, well, you know, well, coach, I'm sorry, because they told me that. Hey, that's fine. But also know my character. Know who I'm really am. Not I'm really am, but know who I really am and know who you're truly dealing with. You're not dealing with a guy that has a reputation of being a liar. You're not. Yeah, Veronica, you're going to get beat up to about a lot of those people were special. They do come back and watch this, V. Yeah, LaTanya Rice said, I can't put on for anyone. And you shouldn't. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, Miss Campbell? So, look, let's move on. Let's talk about that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. That's just the way it is. Look, that's the biggest crock of shit that I've ever heard in life. We give people a cop out, a way out by saying, oh man, you know, well, that's just how, y'all know Kim, that's just how Kim is. Y'all know Elisa, that's just how Elisa is. Y'all know Veronica, she don't mean no harm, that's just how Veronica. No, stop. As long as you're gonna allow people to crap on you, you let them crap on you, because I'm not gonna let them crap on me and get away with it. That's just the way he is. What, honest, loving, forthcoming? If it ain't one of those things, I don't want it. No, it ain't. It is what no. It is what it is. No, it's not is what it is. So if somebody is a shit stirrer in the room, in the group, look, the last thing I want, Kevin Walker, is to be affiliated with some BS. That's the last thing I want. Don't think I'm cool with the bullshit, because I'm not. I'm sorry, excuse the language, but I'm not. Greg gonna say, we know Kevin, he is a pervert. It's just the way he is. No, well, that might be right. Kurt Green said, hell no. If I offended you, please let me know. My intentions are never to disrespect anyone. So if you feel a certain way, say something. Not to someone else, but to me. No, that's grown man shit there, Kurt. That really is. Kylie says, majority rules. Why are they comfortable in the group? That's where I was going next with that. That's the way they are. Teresa Kendrick said, amen. They always been like that. Okay. I'm glad y'all saying that, because that's where I was going next. The reason why shit stirrers, this is a stir, shit stirrers exist is because people don't call them on their bullshit. Y'all let people look y'all dead in the eye and stir up all kind of bullshit, even when y'all know they lying. Y'all know this girl messy. Everybody got an office bitch that's always in the midst of bullshit. Click the like button. I ain't seen nobody click the like button yet, like I'm lying. Everybody got a, let me see them hearts go up, because I'm telling the truth. Quit giving people an out for being bullshit people. Call people on their bullshit. Call them out on it. And they will stop. If you call their ass out in front of the group on their bullshit, they can't commit the bullshit. Everybody gonna be on to them. But some of y'all are so damn contradictory in your comments, you scared a motherfucker gonna shoot you back. Well, I better not say nothing to LaTanya, because if I say something to LaTanya about what she just lied about, she gonna call me out on what I said to her about Elisa. If I say it to Elisa in front of Tanya, Trishana gon' come on now. Come on now. If you call out the messy nigga in the room and quit letting them make it, it's one thing to say shit and do shit as a joke. That ain't being messy. That's just trying to be half-ass funny. That's you thinking you're a comedian when your ass really ain't. Because I think I'm one. So I say funny, ha-ha shit all the time that I think funny, but I have a different kind of sense of humor. I'm going to laugh at your pain. But why do you continue, Run Love, who says he never says it? Why do people, Run Love, continue to say, oh, that's just the way she is? No, quit letting her make it. Because I'm not going to let her make it. I'm not going to let him make it. I am going to be honest. And if you don't like it, so the hell what? What you going to do? What are you going to do? But you got so many damn skeletons in your closet, you scared to call somebody else out on their skeleton shit that they creating in the office because you don't want to be exposed. Thank you, LaTanya. She says when your integrity is solid, you don't have to worry about a motherfucker calling you out. They've been conditioned by their peers by ignoring the bullshit. Come on, Ron Love. Yvette France say, Kurt Green, good people hang by themselves because they don't need anyone else to boost their confidence. You better talk, Yvette Francis. Let me roll back and read some of these comments. Here go Kurt Green. I'm going to start at Kurt's comment. If anybody else want to add something while I'm reading Kurt. Kurt said, it's just like Grandma says, trash hangs with trash. You will never find gold in the midst of trash, meaning messy people hang with messy people. Good people usually hang with good people. Nicole Rogers said, yes, Kevin Walker, you better preach. I have called them out, but it didn't work. Greg Burton says, one thing we know, I will call you. Now, Greg will call that shit out. Kylie says, Satan cashed out. I'd say, yeah. Teresa Kendrick says, if you call them out or just bring it to their attention, all of a sudden you're being negative. Who gives a fuck? LaTanya Rice, integrity is solid, Run Love. They being conditioned by their peers and ignoring their drama. Kurt Green says, good people hang. Oh, no, that was okay. That was Yvette Francis' comment. Marche said, pretty much. So, yeah, like, man, look. People, I've been asked several times. Look, I'm gonna be totally real right now. I'm gonna be totally real, and I'm not gonna call no names or put nobody on the spot because they're not on this live with me to defend themselves. But people have asked me, man, why do you fuck with such and such? Because people are gonna assume since this person is bullshit and messy, that you that same way. And you solid than a motherfucker. And what I did say to them was get to know me for me. That person don't define me. They not who I am. They not a part of who I am. And people who hang with me that do bullshit stuff, trust me, I'm calling them out on their bullshit. But you need to call them out on their bullshit. Because when they just hearing it from one side of the table, and we got four sides of the table, what are the other three people at? What are the other three people? Because you know it's some bullshit just like I know. Latanya said people have different relationships. They do. Latanya, but that shouldn't stop you from being honest regardless of what the relationship is if you in my mix. Me and Shauna ain't best friends. Me and Shauna cool. Talking about Trishana Williams. We laugh, we talk shit. All kind of stuff might come up in the course of a conversation if I'm, over there chilling or she come by here. All kind of shit may come up. And we bullshit, kiki, kaka, laugh about it and move on. But what I'm not going to do is endorse and enhance negativity when I know it's bullshit. I'm not going to enhance it. I'm not going to act like it don't exist. What I'm not going to do is chill with Kurt and Terry, my homeboy, and Kurt on some, man, that nigga, that whole ass nigga, man, that nigga, that nigga, without me correcting Kurt. You know, a lot of y'all do that. Y'all will allow personality A to crucify personality B in your presence without you speaking up and saying anything. You the worst friend, you the worst somebody in the fucking world. Randy said, choose wisely, guilty by association. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that you're guilty by association. Latanya Rice says, I'm the same way, always. Never will I alter who I am for anyone. Never can I control someone else, but I know who I am and whose I am. I hear you, mama. Ron Love says disloyal. Yeah. Randy says truth over loyalty. Marche says straight up trash. Yeah, what I see, let me tell you what you can't do. And most people that know me already know. Because women try it all the time. And I wish Nicole was on here so she can amen corner me. Women that try to get close and be cool with Nicole to say, hey, what's up with your cousin? Or women might not tell Nicole to hit me up in my inbox to shoot their own shot. I ain't gonna lie. I told you I ain't gonna have no podcast and lie. Sometimes they successful by getting in my inbox. Sometimes they not. I'm just being real. But you can't belittle Nicole Cartwright, who I love like a freaking sister, and think you gonna be my homie. If anything, you better say, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't no business of mine. Exactly. So Kylie says, bingo, that's why they don't get called out. You participated at some point. Okay. I don't know what that necessarily means, but okay. So let me go back to Randy's comment. I found it Okay. Choose wisely, guilty by association. No, I liked your comment. I'm going to put it up because I want to talk about it real quick, Randy. Randy says you can be guilty by association. I totally disagree why you cannot be guilty by association. Because I control my car. I drive my car. You drive your car. We could take two different routes to get to the same place, but we're in the same spot. On your way to this spot, you robbed a liquor store. I stopped by the church to pay my offering because I'm going to be out of town Sunday. Am I going to be arrested when the police show up to our destination? Because I'm with you now. I'm associated with you. I'm being seen with you. We're rubbing elbows in the same spot, but we just went two different paths to get to the same place. So I'm not guilty by my association with you. Just because of one person is one kind of way and does one thing, it doesn't mean that the people around him are guilty of that same thing. I got friends who smoke weed. I got friends who don't smoke weed. That don't make everybody weed smokers. Some do, some don't. You're not guilty of being a weed smoker because you hang around people that smoke weed. Some people faithfully hit the gym and take care of their body to the best of their ability. Just because that outside shell looks like the picture of health doesn't necessarily mean that that's a healthy frame, that that's a healthy body. We can see people that look great one month and be stricken with cancer the next month. So Randy says, investigators gonna look at the last call and see it's you and you will be questioned. But that don't make me guilty because I'm questioned. You making my point. You can question me, and we got people on here that's in law enforcement or that have been in law enforcement that's retired now, like Kurt, that can tell you nigga, somebody don't drink. Yeah, let's not talk about drinking. But just because you're questioned by the investigator doesn't make you guilty. Kylie says, I mean, if at some point we partake or are entertained by mess, it's hard to call someone out. I've been guilty of that. Oh, okay. But it's a lot of things, Kylie, that we're guilty of. But at the end of the day, we're still responsible for us. If we've made change or if we're different, if I'm not who I was, and nobody on this right now is who they were. Think about it. When you were 18, now you 40, 45, 50, you're not the same person that you were. So just because you participated in something a few times, I'll say a few times, just because you lied as a kid don't make you a liar as an adult. Be like, yeah, boy, couldn't nobody beat me lying. Just because you sold some cootie cat in your 20s, now you in your 40s, and life is different. Your finances are different. it don't make you a prostitute for selling cootie cat. Ron Love says, no one is gonna say, look at them thieves and Kevin. They look and they will say, those thieves. I'm just saying, no, I can agree with that, that people do. People may judge you by your, but that doesn't make you guilty because you're judged by people to be a certain kind of thing or a certain kind of way. Randy says, it's the point of having association, period. I've had to back away from some people, in my opinion, but they were living a lifestyle I knew about. And because she was my friend, I was approached. Yeah, we can't hang. That was a choice you made. Could have been a good choice. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who the person was or what they were doing. But you thought it was something that you needed to do. Move away, back away, push away. So you did. I can't really speak to it because I don't know the situation. What I can say is that you were not guilty by association. I disagree with guilt by association. Sometimes we get so cliche-ish in certain things, we take them for exactly what they are, when we should be taking them exactly for what they is, meaning in the current, just words. Ron Love says, that's called social prostitution. If you were a hoe at 20, you would be an old hoe at 40. Hey, some people change their life around, Ron. You know, there's some niggas out there that was carjackers, got caught up, did their time, learned the lesson. Them niggas ain't doing that shit no more. Some niggas I know used to go to the med center and steal cars and bring them back to the hood. They got caught. They served their time to society. They back in society now. Never again have they done that. Never again did they go back to stealing cars. They changed their life. All I know is this. If we gonna call a spade, let's truly call a spade, because you can't get on here and say that you worship this kind of God and that kind of God. And because at the end of the day, the God that we claim we serve, y'all come on now, be real. The God we claim we serve, the God we claim we serve is a life-altering God. They say he can pick you up, he can turn you around and set your feet on solid ground. Now, when Pastor preached this, y'all get excited and start shouting, because Pastor will also say, I ain't where I need to be, but I'm also not where I was. Because everybody gets an opportunity to change. Two things we get every morning when we wake up. Two things we get every morning when we wake up and we after 9 o'clock. This is going to be my final word for the night. Two things we get every day, guys, is a chance and an opportunity. You get an opportunity to change the narrative about you. You get an opportunity every day to change the narrative about what you are to what you were. See, some of y'all get so stuck on being worried about what another joker got to say, to where you can't walk forward because you're too busy looking back. But you can never advance in life. You can never move on. You can never be motivated to something greater that's right in front of you because you're too worried about what's behind you. What's behind you is behind you for a reason. What's behind you is behind you because they out of season. What's behind you is behind you because what you found is a greater purpose that's been placed in front of you by God, who did pick you up, who did turn you around, who did sit your feet on solid ground. Yeah, when you were that person that was in the midst of all the BS, when you were that person in the office that was starting everything, when you were that somebody, you were waiting to be rescued. See, some of y'all get it oh so freaking twisted, and you scared to allow God or trust God to renew your heart, to renew your soul. But the grace and the mercy, Teresa, you're right. The grace and the mercy of our God, let's be real. Let's be real. The grace and the mercy of our God, the grace and the mercy of our God can take my daughter in 2018, snatched her from her 3-year-old baby. And in 2023, she's got a bright, blossoming 8-year-old who God saw fit in the moment of tragedy to relieve and make her a strong young lady pushing forth with her mom's legacy. So God can take a tragedy, God can take night, God can take night and turn it into day. But you got to trust him. You got to give him a chance. You got to be willing to put some work in. You can't keep saying, oh, you guilty by association. No, you making excuses. You can't associate me with nothing. You can't associate me with nothing. You can't associate Kevin Walker with nothing but Kevin Walker. But you condemning everybody else on their beliefs, but you're being judgmental with yours. You guilty by association. Nah. No, I'm not. Not guilty by association. I'm blessed by relocation. Meaning I'm not where I was, I'm somewhere else now. Hey, this is what he said with Kevin Walker. That's the end of tonight's show. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. See y'all again next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Thank y'all for watching. I love y'all. Peace.